First off, the onset, I have nothing but the greatest respect and honor for those who serve our nation's military. Those who volunteer to enlist, study for, and train for years on end in defense of this great nation. And it takes courage knowing that if we do fight in another war, there's a chance that they may be called to combat and they may not survive it. They'll be coming back in hopefully a casket draped with an American flag and buried in Arlington Cemetery or elsewhere. I have nothing but the greatest honor and admiration for those men and women who sign on the dotted line knowing that they may not come back if this country fights another war. But that respect is hanging by a thread, especially thanks to people in this current regime who have no respect for them. And of course, by that token, I am talking about Pete Hegseth, the Secretary of War, and of course, the current Commander-in-Chief, Donald Trump. These two people have completely eliminated whatever respectability we have as a military. Speaking as a son of a soldier, I can't even begin to understand what is the point of what Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth are trying to do. Earlier this morning, Pete Hegseth decided to make good on his wanting to speak to the generals of the United States military, the generals and the admirals, the flag officers, top tier positions. And we're not just talking about the chiefs of staff. We're talking about all of them. Commanders of our overseas bases, commanders of in-theater operations. To talk about the warrior ethos. Hegseth, if this video finds you, I'm wondering what exactly is the warrior ethos you're talking about. Now, I've listened to his speech, and it was disgraceful. Considering the fact that it's coming from a man who is a complete and total disgrace to our military. And I'm not just saying that because he's the Secretary of War. I'm saying that because he was a soldier. I can't even call him a soldier anymore. He was an officer of the United States military, the United States Army National Guard. He got kicked out because of his tattoos. His white supremacist tattoos, completely racist. He destroyed what should have been a brilliant military career. He went on to become a Fox News talking head. And the only reason he's the Secretary of Defense of War right now is because he's a Donald Trump ass kisser. That's all. Being the son of a soldier, I understand military soldiers take the oath to obey the orders of the Commander-in-Chief and all officers appointed to him. That's not what I'm seeing from Hegseth. He's just doing this because he's a right-wing sycophant. And as much as it hurts Donald Trump and the rest of his regime and the MAGA, he is nothing more than a fascist. We all assume that Donald Trump was planning on that Trump or Hegseth were planning today to give a loyalty test the same way that Adolf Hitler gave his soldiers, his generals, a loyalty test. You're either loyal to me or you're out. And that's pretty much what we saw. Hegseth went on about his warrior ethos. I have no idea what that is. But we know what he wants to do. He wants to reshape our military so women won't be in the military or serving in combat roles. So anyone of color wouldn't join the military, so they could harass and discriminate all they want to push people of color out of our country's military. He's pushed people, he's gone on slurs about the LGBTQ who serve this country honorably. But most importantly, he went on to say that he wants to cover up sexual assault in the United States military. And he wants to erase records of military rape. Maybe that's your warrior ethos, to cover up sexual abuse, harass troops that are people of color and women and LGBTQ. Maybe that's your warrior ethos. But most importantly, he actually has pointed a very big bullseye on our country. You notice that I'm not playing any clips of his speech because it made me sick to even listen to him, and to try to edit out and put in parts of his speech it just sickened me. But no more so than Donald Trump. Pretty much saying that the military can do whatever they want in this country. Now, I only got the highlights of what he said, because listening to him for 3 minutes made me sick, physically sick, as in wanting to throw up sick. Him going about his ego, saying that I renamed the Gulf of Mexico, like, what? What does this have to do with the current subject? The way I see it now, and I said this earlier here, I'm trying to talk people out of joining the military in this country, as long as Donald Trump is the commander-in-chief and Pete Hegseth is the Secretary of War. I'm trying to talk people out of joining, and it hurts me to say that. Now, I never got a chance to serve in our military because of health reasons, but I still think about it. I still think about having a long career as an enlisted man or as an officer, leading men into combat, serving my country with honor and pride and dignity. Looking at that flag of the United States with pride, knowing that I'm doing my part. Good God, I'm sounding like a recruiting commercial. That I'm doing my part to protect this nation, to serve my nation. But right now, people in the military are not serving our country. They are serving Donald Trump, a man who is a coward. Not because, see, here's the thing. Whenever someone says you calling him a coward because he didn't serve in the Vietnam War, and everybody wants to throw out the name Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, heaven rest his soul. The difference between Muhammad Ali and Donald Trump is Muhammad Ali didn't serve in Vietnam, not because he was a coward, not because he was this, that, or the other, because he refused to serve, not only because of conscientious objection reasons, but because the climate in our country, the civil rights movement, the civil rights laws were still in its infancy. We barely had, Jim Crow laws were still going strong. And the question that kept coming up is, why should I serve my country that calls me the N-word? Why should I serve my country when I can't even eat at the same lunch counter or drink from the same water fountain? Why should I do that? Donald Trump didn't serve because of bone spurs, and we all know that's a lie. He didn't serve our country's military because he was a 100% coward. That's who Donald Trump is, and he will always be. 100% pussy. He never showed respect for our military. He never has. Neither has Pete Hegseth. Yeah, he was in the army, but he destroyed his own career because he's a racist bitch, a racist prick. And forgive my language, but I'm just going to call it like it is. This man never made anywhere, didn't make above the rank of major, but he has the audacity to say this is how the army is going to be run. This is how the military of this country is going to be run. While Donald Trump is deploying military soldiers in American cities, this past weekend he deployed the military to Portland because it was crime and it was a war zone. Those are direct quotes from Donald Trump. And we saw what happened. Portland was not a war zone. There is nothing wrong with Portland. But he deployed the military because he's trying to stay in power. But let's get to the heart of the matter of this warrior ethos speech of his. It was a waste of time. And truly a waste of taxpayers' dollars. But that's what Donald Trump is. That's what everyone in his regime is. A waste of time, a waste of money. All to show basically how completely inept these people are. But in their minds to show everybody in the military. All this was nothing more than a photo op, and it completely and totally backfired. I feel sorry for the soldiers, sailors, Marines, airmen, Coast Guardsmen, Space Guardians, Guards, and Reserve. I feel sorry for them. I truly, truly, truly feel sorry for those people. Because if that's the military that they have to serve, we're all in trouble. If this is the Commander-in-Chief and the Secretary of War, we're in trouble. I feel sorry for this country. I feel sorry for the young man and young woman who's thinking about having a long career in the military, who's going to the recruiter's offices, talking to a recruiter, asking them what can I be in the military. And if I'm the sergeant in the desks, I'm going to tell you the plain and simple truth. Nothing. You won't gain anything. You won't get anything. All you will get is the possibility that Donald Trump is going to order you to do something unbelievably unconscionable. All you're going to get is shame, not pride or glory or honor in that uniform. All you will receive from Donald Trump and his government is shame. And I'm ashamed to even say that. I have family who have served in the United States military. Right now I have friends who are serving. And I feel sorry for all of them because, quite honestly, in the very end of the last analysis, they're going to have to live knowing they gave their oath, their lives, their blood to Donald Trump and a reject like Pete Hegseth. This whole thing in Quantico, Virginia was a waste of time. And it's really a shame. Donald Trump is gearing up for a military takeover. And Pete Hegseth is trying to help him. God help them both if they succeed. And God help us, and God help the rest of us Americans if they try. For those of you thinking about joining the military in any capacity, whether enlisted or commissioned, whether going through boot camp, military boot camp, or going through a service academy to become officers, please think about this. Fighting and dying for your country is one thing, but unfortunately, you won't be fighting and dying for your country. It'll be for Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth, two people who couldn't give a damn about this country. As long as we Americans swear our loyalty to them, everything else doesn't matter. Think very carefully about joining this country's military. Because if you do, you won't be received as guardians of our country. You will be seen as Donald Trump's stormtroopers. And that's maybe you want that. Maybe you're supporting Trump to that point. But what's going to happen when Donald Trump gives you an order that you know is wrong, but you carry out anyway? It'll be you going to prison. Not Donald Trump. Just you. But as for you, Hegseth, you military reject bastard, you better pray that you don't give an order like that. Because whether you realize it or not, and obviously you don't, the UCMJ is still in force. You still could be court-martialed, returned to active duty and court-martialed. And you better pray that I'm not the prosecutor. Oh, no matter of fact, you better thank God I'm not the prosecutor. Because when it comes to that, and unfortunately it will, You're going to prison for the rest of your life, Hegseth. Bank on it. CTP, no truth, God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.